Welcome back for another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. Find us on Facebook.com/SuperFunPodcast, Twitter.com/SuperFunPodcast, Patreon.com/SuperFunPodcast, Instagram at SuperFunPodcastGo, iTunes at Superfun Game Review Podcast Go. Thanks and enjoy the show.
Welcome to another episode of Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go! To my left this evening, I have Mr. Steve.
Make us whole again. Make us whole again.
And across from me, Mr. Ralph. Oh, wow.
Mr.
Things,
Gimpy Ralph!
Isaac, he doesn't say anything.
things I didn't need to know or hear ever.
Ralphie Gimpface.
That's the sound he makes when he's like in space.
Sure,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
It
great.
is. That's the thing.
And to my right, Mr. Clark. I'll be your host this evening.
Fuck!
That's the only noise he makes whenever he stomps something. Very exaggerated stomping.
What?
All right, so tonight, this evening, we will be talking Dead Space, brought
Dead
to
Space.
you by one of our Patreon donors, Erik Chavez.
Erik Chavez.
Chavez.
Eric,
That was good. I like that. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Always love doing these episodes.
Indeed. Love it.
Well, if you want to...
So,
if you want to suggest your own episode, join us at patreon.com/superfunpodcast.
Patreon.
Patreon.
The Patreon.
It's a little much.
You're a little much.
All right, guys, let's get into initial impressions.
All right. Well, I never played Dead Space, and this was always kind of on the list. So once Eric threw it in the mix, I was very happy.
I didn't play Dead Space either when it came out.
No?
It came out in 08, and it's sort of completely... I missed it.
You're a little spacey.
Am I a little
Oh,
spacey?
oh,
Oh, boo.
you're a little...
Boo. I don't know, for whatever reason, it didn't appeal to me. I had a copy of it in college, and a friend of mine played it more than I played it. I don't even remember. I think I borrowed, and I'm serious. I think I borrowed it from a different friend. Like, it wasn't my copy, and then I gave it back, and I hadn't played it, but it was good to finally see what it was all about.
I was like aware of the game when it came out. I just kind of skipped it. Me personally, like, I really like horror games, but I like to play horror games with another person. I always think like the jump scares are better when you're with somebody.
I
and
can
like,
see that.
And you know, like, so when I actually initially picked it up, Harry and I played through it together.
What?
You held hands and played it in the
Oh,
dark.
yeah, we did a lot of skipping around, too.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
did.
Pre-gaming skipping.
Yes, lots of skipping.
Through fields.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like playing at Harry's house, surround sound, lights off, like it was a fucking really...
Penis is out.
Yeah.
Pants off, lights out.
Pants off, dance off.
Your outie in his innie, and it all went together.
The jump scares were your parents. Like, on the
and then you got...
What a great friendship you two have.
I know.
Yeah, we're pretty deep.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. Yeah, go ahead. No, elaborate. Oh, they're stuck. It's cute. Go ahead and put your mouth on it.
Steve, Jesus.
All right, so yeah,
Relentless.
played through the game with Harry, and I thought it was a great time. I really enjoyed the game then. It was cool to revisit again, and as soon as it came up, I was like, awesome. Another reason to play this.
Cool. So, yeah, as Clark was saying, we passed the sticks. But I gotta say, when we were going into this game, I remembered I liked it, but I couldn't remember much about it except like a couple just fleeting memories of it. Specifically, some of the spacewalks when you're outside I don't know, some of the breaches in the ship.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of see like all the space shit out there. I kind of like vividly remember those scenes because I was just like amazed the first time. I was actually amazed going back and seeing some of those scenes again.
There was like the space stuff, the monsters, my penis.
Get the monsters and penis confused sometimes.
All the gargantuan things just in your face.
It does have a knife on the end. So.
The giant tentacle.
Yeah.
Is that in the game or not?
Yeah, I know.
It spit
all
in my
blurry
face
now.
and then it cut me so bad.
Give me-
Ow! Why?
It's all blurry now. Slipped him the old Cosby drink.
Jesus! Going in got my fish in it. It's pudding. You're good.
I am not editing this episode under any circumstances.
Oh, okay, Cummy Eye.
Fuck, I don't.
A drag tentacle's gonna get you.
Yeah, I forgot
You're
all
fleeting.
about the tentacle.
Yeah.
Like when that popped up in this game.
Thanks, Harry. I thought I was important in your life.
Well, you didn't see the hole, like this giant hole
Well,
in
I
the
did.
hallway, like foreshadowing.
I thought
something was gonna
creatures
happen?
were gonna crawl out of those. I forgot
yeah.
that there was like a giant.
That you call me Dragon. I forgot it was my face. It just drag along my face.
Oof. Oof.
Awkward.
Fun, guys. I'm out.
Bye, Steve.
Eject.
So yeah, it was nice revisiting this game. I think I beat it in 3 sit downs. So like I think 3 to
Took him 4 last time.
I had a poop.
Is that your unit of measure now? Your sit downs.
but yeah, let's get into game development.
Game development.
So, originally when they were developing this game, it was intended to be System Shock 3.
I can see that.
I don't know what the System Shock games are. I just wrote it down because I figure that's somewhat significant.
They're PC horror games.
Okay.
The first one was pretty well received, didn't have a lot of sales, and the sequel basically just was better in every way. System Shock, and we've talked about it a little bit with BioShock, which was a spiritual successor to System Shock 2.
Okay.
So think of it that way, and as we get into the gameplay with this and some other things, like there's some BioShock-y elements in Dead Space I felt, but I can see that connection. Obviously, that's more first person.
Yeah.
A lot more RPG elements in your character. I can see it.
One of their primary themes in this game that they wanted to integrate into like the system was the dismemberment.
Yes.
Not going like in a typical. So loosely, I want to call this a zombie survival game.
Sure.
Because they're kind of zombie. Like we'll get into that.
It's like a fringe type, but
typically with zombie survival, you go for the head. They
Yeah.
didn't want to go for that. They wanted to go for the dismemberment instead. So it become like almost like a strategic system. Shoot them in the legs, slow them down.
Yep.
Shoot them in the arms so they can't have like a full attack on you or something like that. So that was like one of their big focal points for developing this game.
it was something different from what was on the market.
Now, this is really dark. I feel really bad for the studio that developed this. You know where I'm going.
I know where you're going with this.
To get realistic corpses in the game, they studied photos of crash victims and war scenes.
Yeah.
Extremely dark. That's
super.
I read that today and I was like, Jesus, like that's fucked up.
To have your people actually study that to develop it. It's like I understand if you really want to get realism to like a certain extent, but to put people through that, personally, that's a little much.
I agree.
So it was. I watched like a little 20-minute documentary with like the lead on the game, and actually they were all willing. They all suggested that. They were like, "Let's
Really?
do this." Yes, it was not him inflicting that and being like, "No, look, you guys are gonna go study this." He was like, "Hey, anyone that is interested in doing this, I would like you to check this out. If you want to do that, that's fine. If not, we can go based off of the other people that go." And apparently it was the art team that came up with the idea to begin with. Look, I get it, but like you can tell. Like you can tell
yeah. No,
that they had a
definitely.
great study and understanding of like body horror in this.
Like there was the extra step in understanding the mechanics that went into.
A corpse being reanimated by necromorphs or turning into necromorphs.
Sure, yeah. I mean, between that and even just like picking up through like the we'll get in with gameplay, but like the telekinesis of picking up a body and just like the ragdoll kind of
physics of a corpse.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
kind of dark, yeah, like you were saying.
Well, some of the greatest special effects, like practical special effects artists in horror and stuff, most of them have either been to or helped like embalm a body, so they understand what a fucking human looks like on the inside. And you can tell in their media that they do. Like, you can tell if someone's seen what a body looks like cut open or not.
Yeah.
Like, in it, you know, it's whether you have that morbid interest to figure out what that actually looks like or not. You know, and you can tell in this that, you know, they nailed it. I personally think they fucking nailed it. So yeah, like I was saying, I watched this kind of like 20-minute like little documentary, like a dev diary type of thing, and they had the lead there. I forget his name, but they went on to make Sledgehammer after they did the first Dead Space. So they did a bunch of Call of Duty games since then. So the lead was talking about how the drag tentacles specifically almost completely halted development, because they had the new technology and they're trying to figure it out, because this was relatively towards the beginning of the Xbox 360 era, and they were trying to figure out, like, okay, they didn't want it to be all one fluid motion of it grabbing and like just pulling you into the hole. They're like, we didn't want it to be an instant kill. We wanted it to be interactive. So the next step is like, okay, so do we have them lead into a cutscene? Well, Dead Space doesn't have any cutscenes. So they have cutscenes where it's very obvious, but they don't have any like mid-roll cutscenes.
Yeah, I mean, there's one or two like scenes like the in between where you're walking, like for the tentacles that you're talking about. He grabs your leg and starts dragging you through a hallway. I mean, it's not really. It's technically a cutscene,
But no, none of that is actually cutscene. That's all in-game engine. When I'm talking about a cutscene is actually where it like cuts away and it's playing a video for you.
Oh yeah,
there's very few of those in
correct.
Dead Space. They are using it all in engine, which means the practicality and the physics all had to be there in engine the whole time.
Yeah.
And they said once they got the drag tentacle down, it actually changed all the shooting mechanics for the game. It changed a ton of stuff just getting this one scene, and that's why you see the drag tentacle three or four, two or three times, I think. They were saying that like they had to take the whole idea and concept and break it down into every single layer. So like when they had him fall and lay down and try to aim, that was a completely different mechanic because they had always programmed from the waist up for the character. So they had to actually like completely redo the engine to incorporate him on his back shooting and stuff like that. And then you see that other places and things like that. It's really fucking interesting.
It's amazing that they would go that far into detail for such a small, limited part of the game.
They wanted to focus on this because they thought it would be an awesome horror moment in the game. And I mean, I think they nailed it personally, but like it made me flinch. Like it was just like one of those like, oh shit.
Yep.
Like,
oh yeah.
And the way that they designed it is because it's not a cutscene leading into it. They had to be anywhere at any camera angle, and the camera angle would react to what was happening.
It was fluid when it happened.
Right.
Which was more so, I think I peed a little bit when that giant arm came out and just grabbed me by the leg.
So them nailing that actually changed a lot of aspects of the game, and I thought that was really interesting. It took them, they said, a team of 15 to 20 people, a month and a half to get the drag tentacle, the physics of it down.
Wow.
And once they had that down, though, it completely changed the game, and they were like, if we tackle all of the technical issues that we have and all of the limitations that we have in the same way that we attacked this, we'll get this game. They ended up releasing the game 2 weeks early because they were down to C-class bugs by the time the game launched. That's incredible. Like,
wow.
When we talk about like the bug-riddled, patched fucking games, like this game was like damn near perfect when it fucking hit shelves. And it hit shelves 2 weeks early, which is like unfucking heard of. I think that is such an awesome thing to have under your belt as a developer.
Well, it's like unheard of by this point.
It just makes me sad.
Yeah. I mean, you just don't compare anything, and then you have no expectations.
Well, no, I mean, it makes me sad because that the studio is basically defunct at this point.
Right,
Like,
it's
they're-
been
they're
pretty much
done.
absorbed by EA and turned into Sledgehammer. So sound was like an absolute focal point in this game. They wanted to be
Yeah.
able to scare people with just sound.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I'll go into that later. It used some very interesting tactics when it came to sound, and some recordings that I heard the original sound and then distortion today. I heard the differences and how they warped sounds to be what they were. There's one in particular, and I'll get into that in the sound segment, but that's a
Awesome.
little teaser.
All right, let's talk story.
Story.
I have an overarching synopsis for the story itself. Tasked with locating and repairing the USG Ishimura, Isaac Clarke and a team of engineers soon find the mining vessel is taken over by necromorphs. After working together to repair the ship through the text, audio, and video comms, we come to find out that this is the work of the Marker. The Marker is a holy symbol of the Unitology Church that is and the one that they are searching for is a copy of the original. The captain of the Ishimura is the man behind the big mystery, having made the primary objective of the ship's mission to retrieve the artifact and raise the dead. And along with raising the dead, it creates hallucinations for anyone in its grasp. Being helped by Dr. Kine, Isaac gets the red marker loaded into a shuttle, and then Daniels kills Kine and tries to steal the ship, revealing that she is a unitologist and a common psycho. As Isaac goes to drop the marker on the planet under them, Daniels meets him and reveals that his dead girlfriend was just a hallucination caused by the marker. You then fight the big bad necromorph daddy tentacle fight. Isaac escapes and drops the Ishimura's payload onto the planet, destroying everything, and then in the escape vehicle as you're leaving in the ship, Isaac gets attacked by his ghost girlfriend, meaning that the hallucinations are still there, or possibly permanent, leading into the next game.
I didn't play the game back in 2008, and I have to admit that I knew the twist before I started playing for the session here. So I just it was kind of, I was curious to see how it was gonna play out, and I actually thought it was gonna be a lot more simple. That it was just gonna be like, okay, at the end, Isaac finds out that she's dead. I didn't realize that. Like when she showed up, I was like, wait, what? Huh? I was kind of thrown, and then because I just didn't get the whole. I didn't foresee that it was about a hallucination. I just thought it was going to be that, oh, she was dead the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, and that was it. So the spin on it, even though I knew the twist was coming, the spin still it was still interesting.
You were still like expecting her to be real to an extent, and then she wasn't real, and then at the very, very end, okay, she's real and on the ship with you, and God knows what happens.
Well, I mean, even that, I thought that was just kind of like a horror trope. That's
Yeah,
why
it
there's like
was
a
gonna
jump scare
happen.
at the end like that.
So she's still a hallucination at the end.
Right, I know, but what I'm saying is in the moment, I was like, oh, I thought this is just like,
Well, I mean,
that's how they end the game. That's it.
I didn't know. She just shows up, and I'm like, oh, well, is she actually still dead? I've been apparently hallucinating this entire time.
I thought that last scene was a little out of place for this game. I didn't feel like it actually fit with the vibe of the game up to that point. That
Agreed.
was clearly
Okay.
almost like a ghost story trope, and this
Okay,
was
yeah,
more
yeah,
of like
yeah.
a survival horror game.
Yeah.
That it almost felt like that little add-in at the end was kind of like a quick grab at a jump scare
So-
that didn't.
Not to cut
for
you off,
sure.
but it's almost like, at least for me personally, I expected more to the ending than just I get in the shuttle, there's Nicole screaming like a monster, and then that's it. I wanted more.
I think the ending pushes home that even though the marker's been destroyed, that Isaac's still suffering from the hallucinations and is like infected by the markers. Like, it's not a curse, but like it's like the disease,
Well,
like the hallucinations.
when I was reading, it causes two things. It does cause like mass hysteria / hallucinations. Like that's
yeah.
just for being in its presence. But like on the surface of it was an alien virus that reanimates corpses and distorts them. So it was
Right.
like twofold. And I don't know, you throw a whole cult following into the mix, and all this
So it's like-
insanity ensues.
You become a Scientologist, and then Scientology enters you. Is that what I'm getting? No?
Unitology.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Unitology.
It was,
Oh.
it was
Not-
unitology.
Not
was
to be
unitology.
confused with Scientology. Wink, wink.
Now, here's-
nudge, nudge, nudge.
Oh shit.
My big gripe with the storyline overall is it's so dependent on Isaac always fixing these problems.
Oh, that's true.
Hey, and each segment is we need to fix this part of this ship.
Yeah.
Go fix the navigation. Go fix the engines.
Go put fuel in the engines.
Yeah,
Go
it's
start the engines. Yeah.
It's just one thing after another, and you get like no assistance. Like
True.
to the point where it almost feels unrealistic. Like you're always the driving force of the story.
Well,
like,
they lean really hard into the fact that he's the mechanical engineer that they're taking. So they're like, oh, like you're the guy that's going to fix everything while we like tactical, like make sure everyone's like
while
ready
we
to
dawdle.
go. And,
I'm just
Yeah.
saying when it comes to games like this, I like when it doesn't mean anything to you, but when the other characters contribute somehow, or
Right.
like
Oh, totally
if one-
get that.
if like one's giving you backup fire, like if you're running through a trench or something, and they're picking off a couple for like assisting and making them seem not useless,
Yeah.
True.
not fodder, and just
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
to
yeah.
tie in at the very end of the story. Like they
Yeah, the- like-
contribute somehow to push the plot forward.
That's again where I feel like overall between the story itself and even now that you're saying about that, there's so many characters that could have some sort of position in the storyline, and they're just like trickled in here and there. Oh, go do this. That's where someone comes in. Oh, I'm here, so come see me. Like, there's the one instance where Nicole's just there for a random thing. She walks through a door and then she walks out. Oh, great. That's the amount that her character actually gives to the story. You need more than just that.
Now, here's an issue.
Hold on, real quick. The characters are shallow. That's the problem. All of the characters are pretty shallow. I mean, the driving force between Isaac is he's really there for his girlfriend, and like their interactions are really shallow. Isaac doesn't really say much, if anything, in the game.
I think he has any dialogue.
Like for me, it's hard because I've played Dead Space 2, and he talks in Dead Space 2, so like some of that bleeds over because it literally picks up directly after that ending. So like some of his interactions with his girlfriend specifically, because there's so much in the second one and not,
You have more context
Yeah.
than we do.
yeah, through video comms and stuff like that, the characters are really shallow. What I don't understand is like how like the general or like the captain of like their rescue mission sees one brute and just can't do shit. Like can't even move out of the fucking way. The thing charges him from across a
Yeah.
30-foot room. You can't move. He's just like dead.
Like,
Like
he gets fucked up.
yeah, he just gets fucking obliterated. But like that was my only gripe with the story is like it's a lot of that.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
explain this to me. His girlfriend, hallucination, right?
Right.
That's what
That
we're living.
she's alive.
Sure. Yes.
Yes.
So, remember that one mission where you have to guard her from programming on the computer?
Yes.
What happened there?
Yeah, I can't really explain that one. The only thing that I can think of is like in 2 there's a part where he kind of like projects Nicole onto another living human. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's talking to somebody, but he thinks it's her. So he could have been talking to another one of his crew members that was fixing the computer, and he just was hallucinating that it was Nicole. That's the only thing that I can really could push to make sense. And that's me doing that.
Yeah.
It's not the story. They don't give you a lot there to make that connection. But yeah, like I think that's like a fault of the story is like really shallow characters. If you're not reading every single little piece of extra data that you can get, you miss things.
Before we start on another topic with the story, I just wanted to say that I got hardcore like Event Horizon and The Thing and some Aliens like vibes throughout the game, like especially Event Horizon with coming to another ship and you don't really know what's going on, and like the religious and just like the blood and like the whole like a horror sci-fi kind of thing. Like I was thinking Event Horizon like for so much of that. And the thing specifically when the design of the necromorphs is kind of, it made me think of that, even though they're not really the same thing. They're not the same thing at all. It's just like, visually it kind of looked like that for me.
So I forgot to throw this in the developer section, but the lead designer was saying they were heavily inspired by Resident Evil 4 for the over-the-shoulder action.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And some of the use of the non-normal mechanics in that, like the dude with the bell, the blind enemy in Resident Evil 4 with the bell, where you have to move the bell and he like runs around with the claws. Anyway, and then it was that Silent Hill for some of the body horror stuff.
That makes sense.
And
I
you
could
were
see
saying
that.
Event Horizon was a huge thing for them.
You guys all seen that?
Nope.
It's been years. I just remember the ending really is fucking crazy.
I think it's worth a watch. There's apparently a different cut, like a director's cut.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
I thought there was one other thing I wanted to touch on in the story. The segment when you board the other ship. Because most of this game is devoid of any human life. Everybody's like really dead at this point.
Yeah, for the most part.
But when you board that other ship, you're kind of running through a recently like just devastated crew. There's still people running and screaming and just getting mauled.
Yeah.
There's that one guy who's getting hit by like the gravity floor where he's just like pressed up against the ceiling and he's just like screaming and everything. Like just seeing that scene, it's just like they were just hit and you're running through it. I like that.
Yeah,
I
it was
thought
very chaotic.
It was.
It was like beautifully chaotic.
Kinda.
Still no
like
interaction with the characters. You don't really have any
No.
one-on-one interaction with the character like the entire game. It's
There's-
all through glass or like they're just talking dialogue when you're stuck somewhere or there's no like...
They say a few things and then
Yeah.
die.
Other than like Nicole, there's one NPC which was the like the crazy doctor. Basically, I forget his name, but he popped up like
L. Ron Hubbard?
sure, that not too far off. Like he popped up 2 or 3 times throughout it, like where, like you were saying, like through the glass. He's just there, and he would have a small speech, and then you would just fight monsters or whatnot.
So are we done with story?
Do you want to talk about, I think here we should talk about scariest moment. Does anyone have a scariest moment?
Personally, I think the ones that made me jump the most were when you're in the vacuums, there's like no sound, and those things are jumping across the room
Oh, yeah.
in the anti-gravity.
And then you
ones
just
with
see
the
like a
long
tail
tails.
on the
The one-
screen,
like
but it's
the-
in between you and Isaac. Yeah.
The one that does like the little scorpion tail coming at you.
That was the one thing, like remember when I said I didn't remember a lot of points from playing,
Mhm.
I did remember that, where things would just come at you in the zero gravity
Yeah.
You
areas.
just can't hear him.
I think some of personal scariest moments were just anything that really came out of like the vents. You're just walking along like a small, like very closed off room, and then all of a sudden just something popped down that was just there to terrify you, and it worked out pretty well. There was a couple times sit there like, huh, fuck.
You know what's crazy? That's all on variables.
Really?
It's not scripted.
No
So
kidding.
like sometimes you'll go through and there'll only be one enemy. Sometimes you'll go through and there'll be 2 enemies.
I experienced that when I would reload a save.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. So the way they did it was they had essentially this is like the AI director essentially would sit there and be like, okay, so you're moving past a vent. Is one going to spawn in the vent next to you, the vent behind you, or the vent? Let's pretty much roll a numeral, and if it's within this range, you're getting one in front of you, behind you, or both.
That's fucked up.
It's really fucking crazy. Like, I thought it was really cool the way that, like...
That's awesome.
That's RNG, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sort of.
kind of, yeah. Yeah. Some places are guaranteed encounters, but you still don't know. It's always going to be randomized where you have that encounter in, like, a long hallway.
Yeah.
Like, oh, one could spawn all the way at the end and then one right behind you. So you deal with the one right behind you, forget the one that was going long, so you turn around and it's right on you.
Yep.
Shit like that. Like, that's really fucking cool. For me, the two, like, not necessarily scary. I jumped quite a few times, like, playing originally with you, Harry. Mostly what you're saying, and, like, the zero-G stuff, it was always, like, kind of terrifying. Zero G in space and water games for me, like when you're in a water level and you can't defend yourself in water, it always really, for some reason, freaks me the fuck out. But there were two instances where there was a human that was not a xenomorph that were just completely devastated, and that actually affected me a little bit, and I thought they were creepy. There's one dude that's standing there, you open a door and he's just standing there and he's smacking his head against the wall.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's that chick that's in the medical bay.
Oh,
that's
the one
just sitting there crying over nothing on the there's a slumped over body next to it, and she's just sitting there crying, and you can't really do anything with her, but she's all fucked up in the face and stuff. You're like, God damn. That those two moments were just really ooh.
Was she the one that her head exploded after the end? Because I remember towards the end there was a woman slumped up against the side of a table just crying outward, and then she started laughing, and then by the end of it her head just
no, this chick was literally
It's
she
early
was
on,
she was standing and staring over just an empty blood-covered medical table, and she's standing there just going back and forth nodding and crying.
That girl's head exploded because she shot herself in the head.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I missed that because I went down because she was screaming about something, and then there was a collectible, so I went down for the collectible, and by the time I came back, hey, just saying, it's I'm used to screaming by that point. I'm like, oh, look, something shiny. I'm going to go pick that up. And then by the time we came back, I just heard...
Yeah, because I was on the ship that was recently and
Yeah.
that crashed in.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the game.
Yeah. Oh, wow, okay.
I want to say that I sort of got numb to the scares. At first, when you don't know what to expect in the game, that's when it's really, really sort of terrifying. And then, okay, I got to go slow, and something's probably going to jump out of this vent, and let me shoot this vent ahead of time just in case, which I did that a fair bit of times. I was okay, there's only one vent in this room. Bam, let me shoot it. Okay, no big deal. And I don't know if that helps deter them or not, but
I don't think it does.
I don't think so either.
Well, I didn't waste a
Just
lot
waste
of ammo.
your ammo.
I didn't waste
Okay.
a lot of ammo. I'm just saying. The first time that those little guys came out of wherever, I don't remember the first time that they show up. I know that later.
Little guys, the ones with the three.
Yeah, they roll themselves on the ground,
Yep.
and then they climb up on you. The first time that I
Oh,
got,
the ones that come from the pregnant.
right, but you didn't see them until a couple chapters later.
Yeah.
And then you fight them off and do whatever, because by that point, you have the blaster rifle or whatever. But the first time I saw them, they I tried to stomp them, which was a mistake, and they basically eviscerated me in 5 seconds, and I was just oh my god, it just
Melee was not great.
well stomp.
We'll get in there.
We're starting to transition.
We are getting the game.
A little bit.
We could move probably. We could go.
Was that your scary moment though?
Well, I had just the only other one is anytime I had to defend or whatever. You have to start a console. It's sequence activated, decontamination or anything like that, and you just know that you're gonna get hit with waves
Just
of whatever.
pops up in your face. Oh fuck.
Well, just the anxiety of having to defend in this game was really, really potent. Not like some other games that's a very common trope in video games, but for this game I felt okay, I have to defend against a wave or a couple of these different, that was really fucking terrifying.
Especially at the beginning.
All right. What were the things you used to level up?
Power
Nodes?
nodes.
Let's power node our way into gameplay.
You want to try that again?
Let's
You have to use the node.
Bury me with my money.
let's grab some nodes, hop in the store, and level up our way into gameplay.
Oh shit!
Yikes.
Gameplay.
I already did the transition, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's talk
You're
gameplay.
a woman now, Harry.
You have transitioned.
Transition the gameplay. I was like this. No, I'm like this.
That's the real reason I cracked my rib. Make room for these breasts.
I was gonna say when did the tits get there?
I was going to say, Harry, you are looking pretty supple right now.
You already got the hips.
Little
Yep.
A
swollen.
little pop, pop, fizz, fizz.
He's got the tushy too. I figured that.
Oh, how deep does the joke go?
Oh, it goes pretty deep, Ralph.
Yeah, about like 2 knuckles there. It's just like, give me a slap on the ass. Oh, it just sucked it in.
Once he's done, I'm gonna make him my man wife.
Wow. Speaking of that,
Really, just cap off this 27-year friendship.
oh my God.
Harry just strolled into this.
It's like it's
Backwards into my dick.
Oh shit! just mushroom cap it right in. Oh, it's stuck. Why does it go? Quit moving.
Harry's like, oh.
All right, let's talk gameplay.
Let's talk gay play. I wanted to ask everyone's favorite weapon. What was your go-to?
Oh, I liked the cutter the most, obviously. The other ones,
the plasma cutter.
the other ones
Yeah.
are okay,
Yeah.
but like I upgraded that immediately. Like I used all my nodes
Yeah,
and became a glass cannon for a little bit until I beefed up my hit
Gotcha.
points.
I did do the same for the plasma cannon first, and then it was between the line cutter and the ripper. Those were my 2 mains. I seldom use the cannon, but towards the end game, I found it very useful, and I was sad that I did not invest more into that.
Yeah, I was mostly plasma cutter. I really like the ripper and just like
Yeah.
like that shit's really cool. But yeah, it's mostly plasma cutter for me. If you get really good with it and you put your nodes into it, you really don't need any other weapon.
I put my nodes into it too.
Yeah, to put my nuds.
The plasma rifle though.
Was that the assault rifle?
I used
Yeah,
that.
that was my
yeah.
go-to.
I never got that. I didn't.
Wow.
I only bought 4
I
weapons.
didn't buy it.
Fill up the slots.
So did I.
That's how I cheese the game a little bit, and I'll explain why in a little bit.
The only time I would use that is if I was defending and I knew there was going to be a lot of enemies.
Yeah.
I would do the secondary fire where it spins above you. Like that shit was awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I never bought that one. That was not one of my 4.
Yeah, you essentially you take a knee and you put it above your head, and then it just shoots in a full 360 around you.
Huh.
As the
It's
secondary
really cool
fire.
looking.
It
It's
is.
really a waste of fucking ammo.
Oh my god, yeah. It just dumps
Just pissing
ammo.
it down the drain.
And you guys use that through like the majority, like
For
when you could.
for like the first third, I only used the cutter and the assault rifle.
Uh,
Oh no, that's a lie. Let me get into my little
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
cheese
We'll
moment.
get there.
So early on in the game, I bought 3 weapons. You start with the cutter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you start with the plasma cutter.
Yep. And the plasma rifle. I'm gonna fuck up these names real bad.
The plasma rifle is the thing we were just talking about.
The assault rifle, I guess.
and then
The
the
wide cutter?
line cutter.
The
The line
shotgun.
cutter,
It's
yes.
essentially the shotgun.
Well, they referred to the cutter as like a shotgun almost, the way it fired.
Well, yeah, the way that it
the
fires,
ripper.
but
no,
right.
I didn't buy the ripper or the
Oh.
flamethrower.
I really like the ripper.
But okay, so the ammo drops on the line cutter, the really wide shot thing.
Yeah.
It sells for like 3,000 a stack. I didn't use it for most of the game, but I sold all the ammo for it.
Oh.
I was buying between 15 and 18 nodes a chapter.
Oh wow.
Jesus
Because of
Christ.
just selling the ammo, I was fully leveled out by the end of the game.
No shit.
Damn.
That's a lot of nodes.
Sad, because I had contact gun, so I had the contact ammo, so I would just sell them off. But I didn't buy that many nodes. Did you guys actually buy the nodes other than Harry?
Here and
I
there.
think
It
one
was
chapter I actually bought 22 nodes.
Yeah,
Just
that's
like
like
20
smorgasbord
isn't that
of
like-
node.
22,000?
I think it's more.
No.
No, it's 10,000 per
10,000
node.
a
So
220,000.
200,000.
how did you get that many credits then?
It was just insane, the ammo drop. Well, I only had the 3 guns. So ammo only drops for the guns you have
On your
Not-
person.
Yeah.
on your...
Yeah.
Well,
Okay,
you
that's
can
how you cheesed it.
occasionally... So I didn't even
Yeah.
fill up that 4th slot with a gun. So I was like 33% chance dropping ammo for that gun. So I was getting stacks like like crazy.
Right. No, it makes sense. Like,
Huh.
Wow. Okay.
I was again mostly plasma cutter, so like that's where all of my like money and investment in any sort of ammo went.
I do like the RPG element, leveling up
Mhm.
shit, improving your equipment, improving your guns, your telepathy power.
Oh yeah.
Capacity.
Mhm.
I like that in shooters. Like I feel like more shooters. Well, maybe I don't know, but I like that element in some shooter games.
So,
Well, they give you more option than just your guns too. You could do like your equipment. You can do your armor, which was like your air and your health points, and then you can do like your stasis and your kinesis, like guns and whatnot. So it wasn't just what you were actually using weapon wise.
did you guys use the kinesis as like a weapon?
Oh yeah.
I did it all the time. It
About
was-
halfway through is when I realized that I could actually like pull it in and then like fire like the little like the flammable canisters.
Yeah, like I would always like I'd sit there with the plasma cutter. I would try to get an arm and then maneuver around, grab the arm with the kinesis and fire it at them and just stab them right in the middle and they'd always die.
Yeah.
It's a very easy way to cheese enemies in that game. Is if you hit them with their own body part, they usually die.
I hadn't tried that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a lot of fun, like fun with kinesis.
Yeah, I started picking up
Fun with
everything I
limbs.
could. It's just like, oh, look at a random thing that you can't break open, anything else, like one of the giant chest things, and then you pick it up, and then just like, I never realized until you actually could like fire it, like you're shooting a gun,
Right.
and just like send it off. I'm like, oh, fuck, this
You-
changes everything.
You can use it as a mobile shield too.
oh yeah,
I
like-
always would do that too. Like I'd pick something up. If it was one of the shooters, I'd like aim it so that they couldn't shoot me. I'd get up close and just like take a few shots. Or I would like actually pick something up and push it against something and like actually have them fall to the ground, lay
Yeah.
it down on them, fucking dissect them real quick. Like
I used to use that on the guys that used to spring out like the
the
three
quills.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
out of the top, and then instead of like actually having to battle them, I can just pick up another dead body or something else and like block it, and then smack them, take them off guard, and shoot them down.
I think the shooting mechanics are very solid in the game.
Yeah,
I really enjoy. It feels good to use the guns.
To dismember.
I like the variety that they give you too between the different guns. I mean, like with the plasma cannon, you can rotate it, go to like vertical and horizontal, which is pretty neat. And then you have some like with the line gun where you can shoot mines. The Ripper, where it's just like an extended blade, or you can actually like projectile blade out as well. I thought it was pretty cool with they give you a lot of options when it came to weaponry.
I did right. I felt like the guns felt satisfying to
Yeah.
shoot. Like even your base gun. Like I like how you can turn it sideways, gangster style.
I know. Up on gangsta style.
Well, you just get so used to cutting off the legs and then flipping it to cut off the limb on the.
like an arm.
Sorry, that's what I mean. Yeah, the arms with the long.
Yeah.
Oh, I always did horizontal.
Horizontal.
I just felt
I
it
was
was
the
way
same.
more effective.
I agree.
Yeah, mostly I would stay there, but I'm just saying like you could easily do that.
Mm-hmm.
And once you get it to the point where like I feel like as you upgrade the plasma cutter too, there's just a point where like every time you hit something, a body part's coming off. Like I feel like in the beginning you could hit it, and if like one of the lines is on the body, it's not going to actually dissect the arm.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I
I
mean?
know what you mean.
But once you get to a point, like any part of that laser that hits, or not the laser, but you know what I mean, like the
Yeah.
actual reticle that gets projected, if you fire and any part of that is over a limb, it just comes off. Like I like that. The 0G segments are, I think, engaging. They can be a little clunky sometimes. Like
A little bit.
I kind of found myself like,
I can get here, but I can't get there. Why is that? Like what?
yeah, kind of like that. And also, if you accidentally like panic, you can get really like completely
yeah.
disoriented. And I think that's good game design, but also it could have been a little more fluid. I felt like some of the times when I was freaking out, it was because of the camera angle more than the actual, like I feel like the camera angle would get locked on something, or like
Yeah.
there's a lot of debris in a lot of those situations, and the camera would get like locked on something that's like behind you, and then you're like obscuring your view, and you're like, oh shit, I have to just blindly jump someplace, and then I'd like jump into a fucking enemy, get fucking eviscerated, like
or into like the electricity field, and then you're electrocuted, and you're just dying like a son of a bitch.
But I really did enjoy the whole spacewalk concept.
It was pretty cool, and now you could just like pull things with your kinesis, just like out of like they're floating by, and like, oh, I need that. Oh, come here, and just like bring them towards yourself, whether it be a box and crush it open, or just a random item that's floating around.
Oh, speaking of crushing stuff open, I thought the melee, like the stomp, that was like really I felt like it was ineffective against enemies at all.
Probably by design.
Yeah, well, I think I used like the melee twice, and granted, like if you mash it a few times again, like you can push an enemy back a little bit, and then you automatically have to come over and just like grab something that's going to do some type of damage.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a nice buffer, but it was kind of almost pointless.
I think it's there as a joke.
Kind of.
At least the arm, like the arm swing, the stomp I used to open up boxes the entire time.
It still
But
kind of works for a second, but other than that, like it literally gives you a second of separation, and then that's the only good it does through the entire game.
No,
it's a wet noodle. It's false hope.
Another reason to stomp: when you come across corpses, knock off their arms and legs. There's that one enemy that will bring dead bodies back to life, and then you fight it and something else.
With the wings.
Yeah.
So if you stomp off the arms and legs, and then it infects that thing, it
just dies automatically. It just doesn't come back to life, right?
Or I think it is, but it's like nerfed, kind of like it can't come at you like full force, because you've already done a little bit of damage to it.
It tries to, but it doesn't have like the full effect.
Yeah, because those fuckers will come at you hard.
Yeah, they're really fast. Like, that was probably one of the scarier points. I forgot about this, but the really fast ones.
Oh yeah.
They were a little much.
The twitchy, they would be in the distance, and you just see them coming, and then all of a sudden they're over all to like one side, and then they're right in front of your face, like, oh fuck, dude, where's it? Oh shit! It's like right in your face.
I think one of the creepiest deaths that I experienced. You know the Division enemy? They're called the Division, but like it's like the 3 separate body pieces.
Yes, they're like worm things that you first kill that thing, and then it turns into like a head. And
right,
I know.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever get killed by the head?
No.
It's fucking creepy. So it latches onto your throat and pretty much headbutts Isaac's head off of it, and then it's the only time that Isaac actually becomes fully possessed. It turns around and implants into his neck, and Isaac starts like limping and twitching and like walking forward and stuff. Ooh. And it actually like adjusts its head with his hand.
Oh hell no!
It's super.
Jesus Christ!
Super fucking creepy. Like it's an intense death.
I'm gonna look that one up on YouTube.
A lot of the deaths are very, very intense because there's a lot of dismemberment to Isaac, and he's just screaming the entire time. But like that one specifically, it stuck with me. I don't know what movie it was, but it invoked one of these, like a horror movie. It might have been The Thing, honestly, where a guy like loses his head, but it's attached to his body through like tentacles.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it walks down the floor.
Yeah, and it like walks down the floor. But at one point he's like running, and it's still like attached to the back of his head. It might have been a space movie.
Space movie.
Space movie.
But like it's still like attached to his head. He's like running down a hallway, and it's like his head's gone, but this thing is still like kind of attached to its like stump.
Oh god.
Maybe it was The Thing. So this is from my memories when I was like 7. I saw that, and it terrified me. I had nightmares for years about it.
Jeez.
Like
and it all came back up again.
Terrified me. So when I saw that happen this time, that didn't happen with us when we played through it. But when it happened to me this time, it like fucking it really fucked with me. Really fucked with me.
Took you right back.
Like
oh,
yeah,
no,
it was just one of those
no.
things. I was like, oh my god, that's like straight out of like my childhood nightmares. Like, and I thought that was really awesome. I thought that was a really cool death.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was like super fucking creepy. Like really, it's like when I died, it was usually just by like stupid ways, so I didn't really get to see too many of like the animated death until like the end when you're fighting, the mega
Tentacle daddy.
organic, tentacle daddy.
Yeah.
And he just like scoops you in, and then he just like bites off your arms, and he's flailing you around, and you think you can almost do something in like the scene. You can't do shit, and then he brings you back in, and then he just like takes you off right at the torso, and then it's just he throws your legs. Like, oh fuck!
It's so
It's like, and there is like no chill with this guy. He's just like you're like
No
taking
chill.
piece by piece. Fuck you. That's freaky as shit, man.
Yeah, there's some really good body horror in this game.
There's a little mini game I didn't care for that much in the game, and it's
The best.
the asteroid shooting.
Yeah, me
Oh,
either.
That's a
I
pain
didn't
in
like
the
it.
dick.
You mean you didn't like killing the boss either? The
No,
boss that you
I
have
know.
to shoot the.
Yeah, no, that was not as bad.
It's with the,
The fir-
asteroid shooter though.
Yeah,
it's the same.
The second time, you
Yeah.
have to jump in
that was fine. No,
Yeah.
that's right. That was fine. It was just the asteroid thing. I failed it like 5 or 6 times.
Oh, really?
I'm glad I'm not the only one. That was a real pain in the dick.
You get an achievement if you keep the integrity above 50.
Oh, do you?
Oh, that's great.
You
I
get,
don't know about
Did
that.
you get that one? Did you? Get
No, I
that
didn't.
achievement?
I got close, and I was like, oh darn, I missed it. You get the don't get cocky kid or whatever from Star Wars.
Oh, that's amazing. I
No, it's
don't think I
not.
ever got that one either.
It's not me.
Um,
You're trolling me.
My favorite
That
boss.
is amazing.
Oh, okay.
My favorite boss fight though is when you're in the plant or the plant center.
Yeah.
And you have
Yeah.
to fight the thing in the spiral that you can just kind of keep walking around the room.
Yeah,
And there's the giant-
Leviathan.
There's the giant mouth and everything.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that was a really good one. That was still kind of a pain in the ass. Like,
It looks like a
Good
giant.
catch.
Well, you're not really a Star Wars fan, but it looks like a giant Sarlacc pit, pretty much.
Yeah, I know.
Like
yeah.
a little mouth in the middle. and all that kind stuff. Yeah.
now wondering about that. Did you stay like far away, or did you try to get like as close as possible to?
No, I
fuck it
was
up?
all over the room.
Yeah.
I'm ready to move into graphics. You guys ready?
Let's
Yeah.
do it.
All right,
Yeah.
boss.
Graphics.
Let's talk graphics.
Dark in the right places and scary as fuck sometimes.
I don't have much to say on graphics. I did like the look of the game. Specifically, like I said earlier, the moments when you're outside the ship and boom, there's fucking space.
Yeah.
The vastness of it just right there.
I think the design of the enemies were very well done. I mean, as I expected, horror game, and I got horror figures, like some like quick twitchies and some of like the slow moving. Like you kind of had like a little bit of everything when it came to it.
I don't know why I didn't think of it in gameplay, but the menu system, the fact that you sort of there's no menu that you can go in where you're safe.
Oh yeah,
But I just like the design of the technology that's used in this, and I really like when you just go to the shop and like the screens pop down and then everything projects. Like it's a very simple little thing. I mean, this game has a lot of visual things that are really fascinating, including the body horror stuff. But to me, like the store, like the technology in the store and the way that it unfolds and pops up, like I just like that's really cool. Or the when you modify your weapons and everything just like opens up, and I guess I don't know why that's jumping to the forefront of my mind.
I like very specifically that there's no HUD in the game.
Right.
And I like that you're viewing your health on his spine.
Yep.
And I think the design of Isaac, and as you upgrade, it kind of gets like a little bit different. Like I think that shit's cool.
True.
I like that all of your ammo and all of that stuff. It feels very grounded. I think it was a very interesting design choice to go no HUD. I think it's scarier that way. I think it brings you into it more. I cannot stress this enough. I really love the design of Isaac's mining suit and like
His face,
the
helmet.
the armor, the face, like that shit's so cool. And they ran with that in 2. There's tons of different suits of armor that you can wear in 2. And I think
Nice.
it's fucking awesome. But like in this, just like as a base, like it's so awesome.
Getting back to the design of his suit, it doesn't feel very traditional at all. Like when it
Right.
comes to like spacesuits,
yeah,
it actually feels kind of steampunky
it does
in a way. Just like the copper tones and the metallic.
Yeah.
You know
and
what I
then
mean?
just
Yeah,
fused
yeah.
with neon throughout
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And then you just keep like building bars on bars as you just keep upgrading your suits throughout the game.
That's all I had for graphics. You guys have any other points to add?
Maybe just that I kind of wish I got the PC version so I'd have less jaggies playing on 720p. But other than that,
Oh, PC Master Race over
I'm
here.
just saying. I'm just saying, playing on the PS3, I was like, okay, this looks a little rough here. But I realized it in the moment, like for the time, like I'm playing a game that's like 10 years old. Like this looks great for what it is as a time capsule.
Oh, the game looks disgusting in
Yeah.
every great way that you could imagine.
Right, exactly.
I actually do have another thing. And it made sense. You know how if you clicked the right stick, it would show you the path
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
go on
yeah.
the floor, and it was through his visor. It was like a map system built into his, I guess, his system or whatnot. So
Yeah.
it wasn't just there as like a guide to help you. I mean, it was, but they had
It's built into the
a narrative
universe.
reason.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I thought that was kind of cool.
It was nice to have that instead of just a directional blinker or
A
something
blinking
else.
arrow or something.
Yeah.
Like it's in Mass Effect, like this. If you want to click the stick, it'll tell you which way, but there's no reason for it to be there. It's just there.
Right.
Yeah.
So that
Right.
I don't know. It's pretty cool that they intertwine this.
Hmm?
Give me an old school crazy taxi arrow and I'm good.
All right. Well, we're coming to the conclusion. Let's talk about the sound of the game.
Ooh, let's-
Music.
Let's talk about the sound.
Yeah, let's do that.
Music.
So earlier in the development section, I alluded to this. You know when you enter a tunnel and there's just all of a sudden really crazy loud noise and you think you're going to get attacked, but there's nothing?
Yeah.
So that sound is what drove them to try to make audio actually an enemy in the game. And what they did specifically for that sound is they went to BART, which is like our SEPTA, which is just local transit, and it's a train going through a tunnel at the intersection where it actually goes into the tunnel. They put a microphone up and captured that sound and distorted it and gave it like a biofilter so that it had a more like
Organic train.
organic train sound, and
Who did
that's
that?
the sound that they used to like chase you out of that one room.
Ugh, I just pictured a train
No,
of like limbs and arms.
Something
and pus.
from San Francisco would actually be organic and could give you feelings.
Yeah, so like the
flesh train.
yeah,
Oh, wow.
freight train of flesh.
Hey,
That's what I call my
get out of
dick.
my pants. God damn it.
Train of love.
Flash plane to love.
Meat train. But yeah, like so their use of sound to kind of like attack your senses, I thought was really good. Also, did anyone for me, whenever you have like the objective complete or that
Satisfying.
Yeah.
super satisfying, very soothing. I just it like it would calm me in a moment of like chaos in the game, and I thought that was really cool. And I really just I think the sound design is incredible. I think the necromorphs sound very disgusting and crazy and scary. And yeah, I think overall the sound design is incredible.
I have to agree.
Wh-
High praise.
Yeah.
With the jump scares with sound as like the enemy kind of thing. There was a couple times, like, you know how the characters would come up on your visor monitor and just like a little imaginary screen would pop up?
Yep.
Mhm.
A lot of times they did that with the static just to actually jump scare you, where it just
Yeah.
boom, they fucking flash up right in
Yep.
front of you all of a sudden. And it's like nothing scary. It's just, hey, we got an update kind of thing.
Right.
Mhm.
But
But you're not expecting it, so it takes you off guard. Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, you'll be like walking in a dark room, and all of a sudden,
Isaac!
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Isaac, I need you to get
it
to the
out,
pump
fuck!
room and turn this lever and yeah. I wanted to say that the corpses of the necromancers, sometimes I couldn't always tell
The
is it
necrom-
dead? No, sorry, necromorph, not necromancer.
The necromancer.
That's something else. Like
The
okay,
necrophiliacs. Yeah. Oh.
Hey, I'm right here.
the
God damn
necros.
it.
Sometimes when you would kill one and like, okay, it's dead, but you walk into it, it would make sounds that would linger a little bit and would make you think, oh shit, is it still dead? Is it really dead, or is it still dead, or no? It's dead, right? Okay. I just feel like the actual like dead enemies would still make noise when you would like walk over them or through them enough that would make me second guess, is it dead or isn't it?
Well, you would just hear random shit, and it would just make you think, is something behind me?
Oh, well,
when
there's
something
there's
is really
that too.
not there.
There's that too. I mean, like again, the entire sound design is designed for tension like that.
Oh yeah.
Like you don't know when the next attack is going to come. But I'm saying specifically, okay, that one's dead. I just shot it. Let me walk over to this thing over here, and then you get like an extra sound effect for when you step on it. It's like, oh shit, is it really dead?
Yeah,
It's
you
dead.
have to turn around and like, oh no,
Okay.
it's still there.
Do you guys know what I'm trying to describe?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the body
The
thumping
model
sounds.
thumping. Yeah.
Sound like footsteps of
Yeah.
another one moving closer. Yeah, I totally get that. Like it's very like, I don't know, like a lot of times when you run over a body in a game, it's just like, you know what I mean? Like it's just that sound of stepping in like a puddle.
Like an inert thud.
Yeah.
Yeah, this when the body started moving, like if you accidentally kick the body and it kept moving, you're like, oh god, there's footsteps, something else is here.
Right.
Can you just sometimes body part, especially if you're like in the 0G and you just like hit something, you just hear the fuck? And you don't know if something's like creeping up behind you, or did you just kick a torso? Who knows?
So Jason Graves was the game composer for
Cool.
this. I believe somebody else was partially credited, but he only came up with like some of the ideas for the music. He didn't actually compose it.
The strings go nuts when all the enemies are dead. And it has that classic video game trope where if the music's still going, there's still an enemy out there somewhere.
Oh yeah, that doesn't end.
Very Resident Evil 4 in that regard.
Let's hop on the train, transport to the next chapter.
The tram.
the tram.
Well,
Tram.
Can I save on the way?
Can you
Yes.
what? Oh,
you can
Save on the way.
And stare at a map of the...
Save it on the way.
You should.
Dun, dun, dun.
all right. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
For never playing the game before, it was nice to actually play a horror game. I mean, I feel like they come up pretty seldomly for between us and the games we review. Had a couple jump scares. It was more fun to play with all the lights off because you never knew what was going to come around the corner. But I would say very, very enjoyable experience. Its mission that it wanted to accomplish was accomplished with me.
I got to say that I feel very similar to you, Steve, that I don't play a lot of horror games, and it's very rare for me to play a game and like genuinely get scared. And I played this with headphones on with the lights out, and if you do that, you will get exactly what you want and exactly what you expect. The game will fucking terrify you, and I really got to say, I don't know why I passed on it when it was new, and I have a little bit of regret, but I still really enjoyed it, and I'm interested in part 2. I understand that part 3 is not very good, but
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I never beat 2, so I didn't play 3.
yeah, they knocked it out of the park, and it's just a fucking shame that EA happened again to another good studio.
It happens.
As it comes to
It
pass.
happens.
My final thoughts on the game are, I too, like, I don't go out and seek a bunch of horror games. I know generally what the all-time staples are of the horror games, you know, like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Alone in the Dark, like stuff, you know, like the staples, like the hardcore, like, you know, Eternal Darkness.
Eternal Darkness, I was going to say.
I personally think Dead Space is in that genre. And what's hard for Dead Space, I think, when you're comparing it, is where it got its start. Getting its start on the 360 generations after something like Silent Hill and Resident Evil are so rooted. I think this is a great beginning to a really good franchise.
I enjoyed playing this game.
You're kind of like our horror movie, or our horror game buff. Like, this is your genre.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I would say if there's an alley, I'm going to throw it up your way.
No, it's an enjoyable game. It becomes very apparent about halfway through the game, this cyclical format. You get off the train, you fulfill this request done by your comrades, and then you get back on the train, you move to the next area. And I don't think they're trying to hide that. But I like the RPG elements, like I was talking about earlier. The gameplay's fun, and it's very engaging. I wish there was some dialogue with Isaac. I think that is a missing element to this game. But overall, I think it was a really enjoyable experience, and I'd like to actually play the rest of the franchise. Cool. I guess we're hopping into score. through some zero gravity.
The score.
All right, who wants to go first? Actually, you know what? I'm going to go first.
Whoa.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10,
Wow. Oh, shit.
which is going to tie with Mass Effect and Uncharted 1.
And
Damn.
Rambo.
High
Man,
marks.
That's great.
Yeah.
High marks.
I know.
But so you say high marks for an 8, and then you guys trash me when I give a game a 7. You're like, oh, it's such a shit score.
No,
It
you're like,
depends on the game.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
I'm going to give this 6.5, which is on terms with Donkey Kong Country and
Duck
I don't
Dynasty.
know. Yeah.
All right, 8 out of 10. Pass.
I'm going to have to give this a I'm going to give it a B. It's a very firm B.
I gotta say that I simplified my score, but my scoring system. But like, this is a great game. But to me, like, Red Dead 2 is a gush, and this, like, it just doesn't seem like it's at the same level personally.
Ooh, it's just not
for
enough
me.
bullet points in his scoring
It's
system.
it's
That's
like
what it
it's like
sounds
I
like.
oversimplified. It's like this is a shrugush. Like it's like right in between a shrug and a gush.
It can be a gush for different reasons.
Oh.
It
Okay.
could be.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I mean,
All right,
it's-
gush.
Yeah.
Dead Space, gush.
Are you being honest with us?
Yeah, like blood gushing from your throat because you got
what it
Jesus
sounds like.
Christ.
Somebody's changing the rating system.
No,
after
no,
the
no.
season.
So.
No,
Sounds like it.
I'm not
We're like
changing it. I'm just
6
saying, like,
episodes in, and all of a sudden we have a different take.
My rating for this is I think it's worth a buy. I think this is a game that people should own and play and enjoy. And
Yeah, I think this is a game that looks nice on the shelf. And if somebody was like, hey, look at that game, like, I wouldn't mind talking about it for a couple minutes.
Yeah. Like, I wonder about this. Like, oh, let me tell you about this game. You're going to have a good time.
That's how I feel about all my games.
Oh, I got some stinkers on my shelf.
You got
that's
some
true. I
stickers
got
all around.
Well, thank you again, Eric. We really do appreciate it.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Eric.
Definitely.
absolutely, thank you.
Thank you for this
Thank you, Eric.
opportunity, sir.
Mr. Shut.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'll plug it one more time. If you want your own episode out there, check us out at patreon.com/superfunpodcast.
The Patreon.
Patreon.
Cool.
If you like.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it.
All right.
And love you. Love each and every one of you.
Cringy.
Yeah, go ahead. Soak it in. Hey, Harry,
little
guess
gross.
what? That means you too.
Little
Harry,
gross.
look
Well,
at
I'm
me.
editing, right?
You are.
Harry, look at me in the eyes. Harry, I love you.
Stay sexy.
Stay sexy. Go fuck yourselves.
Sexy though. Wow. God damn.
I'm editing. I'm editing.
Oh, fuck. He's
God.
Enhance.
Increase.
Enhance.
Flesh train.
Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over. Game over.
Thanks for listening to Super Fun Game Review Podcast Go. Stay up to date on our Facebook at facebook.com/superfunpodcast.